Where did you grow up, and how did your martial arts interest peak?
Oh, well, I guess it got peaked for me. I got my ass beat. So, like, I was born with a
Yeah,
cleft
peak.
lip and palate, and so I have scars on my face. And so when it came to growing up in school, I was picked on and up quite a bit. Couldn't fight my way out of a paper bag, but I had a mouth, so I can get myself into fights. I just couldn't win one to save my life. And so one day, it came to a head. I was in eighth grade. I got jumped by a group of kids. It was like six children. Who stabbed me with pencils. They kicked me in the face. They hit me with book bags. And they did this for 5 minutes. And the reason I know it was 5 minutes was because the bell rang. They started beating my ass. And they didn't stop until the second bell rang for you to be in the next class, which was 5 minutes apart. And so the worst part was two teachers stood there and watched the whole thing, and they did nothing about it. I was pretty messed up, man. I still got like a scar on my hand from where somebody tried to stab me, and I put my hand up and I got stabbed in the hand. I had glasses like I do now. I got stepped on, and my glasses cut my face up pretty bad. And a friend of mine who was late to the class, thanks, dude. You should have been there. Help me out. But a friend of mine who was late to the class, he walks over and they ran. They dispersed. He picks me up and he goes to walk me to the nurse's office. And on the walk to the nurse's office, he hands me a card. And he said the words, "You need this." I'll never forget it. Changed my life. And when he handed me the card, it was a card for a free trial class in martial arts. I guess he had a stack. He had trained there and he gave them out. And I guess anybody that signed up, they got a discount for like a month or something. And so he'd hand them out. And so he handed me one. My mom wouldn't let me do any sports whatsoever because she was worried that my surgeries would get messed up if I got hit in the face. And then I asked her, after that ass whooping, if I could do martial arts. And she said, maybe. And my mom never said maybe. She said yes or she said no. And I got it as a birthday present. She paid for a year in full for my birthday that year, and I've never stopped.
Wow. And where was the school at? Was it in Florida?
Yeah, Jacksonville. It was in Duval County.
Sounds rough as shit, bro. You were getting stabbed. You were getting stabbed with pencils.
Yeah, it sucked. I
That's
wouldn't
really
recommend it. Like hard
no.
pass next time.
What age was this again?
I was about 12 years old when that happened.
Fuck. That's something that shapes you, man. Well, obviously it did. Um, so then that got you, and that was just what type of martial arts was it?
Well, that was American freestyle karate. So basically, it was like a Joe Louis style of kickboxing. So it was like karate, but like with no katas, and all we really did was spar all the time. So we basically were just doing kickboxing. But
Okay.
I loved it, man. I thought it was the greatest thing ever.
So that just became part of your image, part of your life.
I mean, I think you can't. It's hard to kind of separate things like that, especially when you're a child and you're trying to figure out who you are as a human being. When
Mhm.
you get into something and you're finally accepted into something, I think it means a lot to you, especially if you're somebody who was picked on, teased, bullied, and then all of a sudden you go to a place where all of these people really can beat the shit out of people, and they're being nice to you. It's like the
Right.
weirdest, most surreal thing ever.
Yeah. Wow. So then what do you do for a living before? So right now is all this like how you're making your money, or you do other stuff too? At
I
what
make
point?
most of my money off of martial arts business consulting. And so a lot of times, and funny enough, I was doing it before McDojoLife, but it picked up my business because a lot of people now will look at the videos that I post and go, well, how do these psychos have more followers or members than I do? And I'm like, well, I can teach you. It's not that hard. It's actually pretty easy to do. The problem is a lot of martial artists have a lot of ego. And so they'll go into a martial arts facility as a white belt and go, you know what? I don't know something. Let me learn from this person. And then when they get their black belt, super proud. I'm a black belt under Henzo or Hickson or whoever. And then they go to open up a business and they forget that that mentality should still be there when they open the business. Oh,
Mhm.
this is something I don't know how to do if they don't. Maybe I should learn and get a mentor and get better at this thing so that way I'm efficient and good at this job. But most don't, and that's a shame.
Well, yeah. I mean, the business mentality isn't for everybody, and just because you have the skills to deliver the product doesn't mean that you can run it and be successful at it.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, you know.
I had the
So
world's greatest pizza and I set it on my kitchen counter and I didn't tell anybody about it. I'm never going to sell a slice. So you have to have more than just the skill.
exactly, it's a good analogy. So then, do you have like connection? I know you just said the Wonder Boy thing, but like besides everything else that you're doing with McDojo, is there like an MMA component that you're pursuing when as far as like content wise and all that stuff too, or do you not have interest in going in that world? And I ask you because it's a little frustrating to see so many accounts, and I actually want your opinion on this.
Hmm.
There's so many accounts from all over the world, not a lot here in America, right? That are just regurgitating clips and content and have hundreds of thousands of followers and tons of engagement, but they don't offer shit. They don't offer anything. So my question to you is, do you have interest in also providing that type of content separate from McDojo at some point, um, or is something like that deter you?
Well, I mean, I just make content as I make it. Like we literally made a music video, like just to make. I've worked with all kinds of guys. We did a Technique Tuesday for a while. I just had to stop pursuing it because we literally filmed an entire documentary, and we did that over the last 3 years. Um, I just went up north. I worked like we talked about beforehand. I work with Wonder Boy. I work with guys like Icy Mike and Sensei Seth, and so I do like making original content. I do find it to be really fun. But the problem at the point where I'm at right now is everything is geared towards us getting our documentary out. So that way we get that kind of behind us. And then once that's behind us, we can actually make a docu-series, which is the goal after that. But the whole goal is to kind of keep promoting awareness for these people that are out there, whether they be wrongdoers or people who have molested children or people who have abused really like anybody. I mean, the goal is to try to spread awareness. And so hopefully the ultimate goal is I put myself out of business. Like I would love if I was so good at my job that I had to switch gears and I had to make different content. That would be the best day ever. If I was like, oh, well, nobody's raping kids. Like, well, fuck it. I guess I'm going to make some kickboxing videos or some shit. I don't fucking know. But luckily through this, I have so many good connections that I could do almost anything I really want.
Wow. And the MMA world takes you, how do UFC fighters feel about you?
Most really appreciate the work that I do, that I interact with. I'm not going to sit here and say I know every UFC fighter, but the ones that I interact with have been nothing but awesome. Uriah Hall was on my show the other day, which was really, really cool. Roxanne Modafferi was on my show. That was really, really cool. Mike Beltran, who's pretty fucking cool guy, by the way. If you ever get a chance to talk to Mike Beltran, is A1 homie, good dude. Robin
Really?
Black is awesome. At the end of the day, having those connections is great because it allows us to be able to make different things as time goes on and have
Right.
access to people. So if I happen to see something, I'm like, that seems weird. I have people I can bounce that off of and say, what do you think about this? And they'd be like, oh, that's bullshit. Then I know why.
Right. Right. Wow, it's very interesting. I'll be 100% clear. Um, I didn't know the levels and extremes and details about what you stood for and what all this stands for. So it's very enlightening. Um, I knew you were calling people out. I know you were putting these people on blast. I knew like the general basis for the content, but it's interesting, man. It's super interesting, and I think it's an important thing. What's the guy who chases down all the creeps? Hanson, was it Hanson?
Chris Hansen. Why
And
don't you
that's
go
your
ahead and
next
have a
show,
seat? Go ahead and sit
dude.
down.
What's that?
That's every time, like that's what he would do. He'd like walk in, and there'd be a dude like half naked with some cookies and condoms.
Right. And a bag of candy. It's like, oh, I was just here for no reason.
What
I
were you
just
doing with
stumbled in
condoms? Oh, I was gonna jerk off.
there. Oh Lord.
No.
Do you have any questions for Petroski if he's sneaking behind the door back there at some point, or now, or are we skipping
I
the
mean, I'm
Petroski?
all about just open dialogue, man. I hate to be the guy who's like, oh, and how was the Ultimate Fighter? And like, who was your favorite person to punch in the fucking face? Like
You
those
want
are
to
the
pick it up?
questions I like to know.
Yeah, no. Well, trust me, I'm with you. I hate asking those type of questions too. Sometimes you have to just to keep conversation. It depends who you have on, right?
Yeah,
Because
for
when you have
sure.
somebody on that just doesn't give you anything,
Yeah,
uh,
I'm always self-conscious. Like I don't want to like talk too much, and then like sometimes you don't talk enough. It's like, well, it's a fine
oh, I
line.
don't give a shit. I just talk. I just talk and just listen. It's my show. So if you don't like it,
I do what I
you don't
want.
have to listen. You can mute me. Um, while we wait for Andre to pop in here, what are your thoughts? I mean, I don't know how much of our stuff you've seen, and I don't blame you if you haven't seen a lot. But What are your thoughts on this type of content? Since you know the content world.
I think it's absolutely awesome. I think you have a really clean setup. I think that you do a really good job of marketing yourself. I'm not sure how your numbers are doing on the back end, but from everything that I've seen of yours, especially, obviously I watched the Dale thing, but everything else, it seems really clean and it seems like you have a good setup and you have a good structure. It sounds like you have a producer, if I had to imagine, in the background there helping you with other things. So I think it's an awesome setup. And it's, like I said, I'm all about clean. I think that your setup is clean as hell. Even your thumbnail stuff that you put out,
Yeah.
it looks really good. It looks very professional.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. What's up, dude? Wow. That's your first time in the studio, isn't it? Do you follow McDojo? If not, you can pretend that you do. Do you follow McDojoLife?
Yeah, of course.
All right, that's the man on right there. Just jump on in. Here, you can put the headsets on.
Huge fan.
Get that microphone nice and close to your face. What's up, dude? Long time no see.
Man, the beard looks good.
It's the only thing that looks good, bro. Everything else I'm hiding behind a shirt.
Yeah.
The last time I saw Andre, it was him trying to get me to lose weight, and it didn't work out. He didn't have to go fight in the UFC. I'm sorry, he was busy.
Did you do the marathon?
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you
pretty
do?
good. I actually did pretty good.
You won it?
No, fuck no.
You
The
won it?
Ethiopians won it.
Just tell me you won.
All right, fine. I won. Get that thing nice and close to your mouth there.
Check.
There you go.
1 2 1 2.
Can you hear him?
Yeah, man.
All right. And you can hear the screen and all right, good.
Floating head over there. Is that what's up? My head's just
No. We have a 60-inch screen here, so we see you perfect. Even though it doesn't align perfectly with the cameras. And you're just seeing us through the switcher. So we already had this conversation. Do you know the McDojoLife reason for why that exists, to expose all these people that are out there being shitheads and taking advantage of human beings? Did you know that?
No, I would love to hear more though.
You're gonna have to watch the episode because we already finished talking about it.
All right, give me the Spark Notes version.
Here, you give it to him.
Right. Well, so basically I call out fakes, frauds, phonies, con men, and pedophiles in the martial arts industry. There really is no regulating body to the martial arts industry. And so basically I give a platform for it to be self-regulating. I let the people do the work. All I do is just spread the information and people can do with it what they please.
Yes.
So I'm a follower of the Instagram account and the YouTube channel. And I wasn't sure, being honest, I wasn't sure if it was somewhat comedic and just showing all these fucking phonies out there. But then we've been talking for 20 minutes or whatever, and he got into all these details, and it's like, oh shit, well, my kids aren't doing martial arts. What are your thoughts, Andre, on kids doing martial arts? Is it as scary as he's painting it, or is it pretty safe?
I think it's pretty safe. I think obvious. I mean, if you know nothing about martial arts, and let's say you want to get your kid into martial arts, what would be your first step? I guess you Google the closest, jiu-jitsu school, karate school, whatever. And I think if the guy's doing some shady shit, I feel like today it'll be in the Google reviews or Yelp reviews, right? Am I wrong?
Sometimes not.
McDojo will be there.
I
know. It's the only way. It's the only way I would know now. I would just have to check in case he made one of your episodes.
Yeah, well, you would know for sure because I put them out there. But going into a martial arts school for children is just the same thing with adults. So for the average person drops out within a year and a half. In jiu-jitsu, they call it the blue belt blues, right? You'll see the guy get his blue belt, he disappears. But that's the same thing with every martial art. And I think the first step is knowing what your goals should be. What are you trying to get out of this? Because if you're just doing it because you think it's cool and then that new car smell wears off, then what are you doing it for after that? And so setting tangible goals, but then really doing the research on the instructors is so important. Look at the pedophile list. There's usually a website that allows you to look to see if anybody has already been on a registry. And sad enough, people like David Arnbeck molested a 15-year-old girl in his home, and he's still around children today. He still runs 3 martial arts studios.
Where's he out of?
He runs 3 schools called Warriors Cove. And he was a 5th degree black belt under Hickson, and Hickson denounced him after this, but he still has the picture on his website of him and Hickson buddy. But this dude pled guilty to molesting a 15-year-old girl, and it's amazing how he still has 3 schools today and he's still around children. And he's just
what state?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I
If you say
apologize.
Philly, we're gonna have some problems.
Yeah, I did a story about him on our YouTube
Wait,
channel.
was it his stepdaughter?
No, the girl was a neighbor, but she was at his house for a sleepover with his daughter.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
God damn.
Yeah, there was a dude that went to
Yikes.
Brazil recently, didn't he? He got
Oh,
caught
yeah.
in some shit and he ran to Brazil.
Yeah, he ran to Brazil. Yeah, that's that stuff coming out of Fight Sport, I think. Is that it?
No, I don't know, but I saw a story.
It's pretty crazy. I don't want to.
Yeah, there was a couple big names out of that gym, though, right?
There was a lot of people. Like I in all honesty, I don't want to go down that dark road. But if anybody wants to look it up, the New York Times did an entire expose about it. So if you like look up the New York Times, they did a full write up about the entire situation. It's pretty crazy. It made the New York Times.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't. It's a sensitive subject.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's take this more positive.
Yeah, hey, look,
Did you
there's
mention what? I don't know. What happened with the whole Lloyd Irvin?
oh, good lord, you're digging deep. You're going way back.
Who is this? I don't know who this is.
Lloyd Irvin has a very successful gym in Baltimore. Like a lot of tough fighters come out of there. James Vick was out of there.
He's not that tough.
I do believe Keenan Cornelius was out of there, wasn't he? Wasn't Keenan Cornelius?
Yeah. I don't know what. I don't want to speak on something I don't really know the details of. Apparently, there was definitely some
Shenanigans.
coming down.
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
Works here.
Why are people so
there was definitely some pretty dark stuff that came out of that, and then obviously after the rape allegations and stuff hit, you didn't hear much about Lloyd Irvin for a little while, and then now he's kind of coming back to the surface, and you're seeing him a little bit more. He's getting more face time. He's been trying to sell a book, I do believe, on how to speed through getting your black belt, and that's been something that's been in the ads. But that's old stuff. And at the end of the day,
look that up. I want to read that. I'm gonna stop at blue anyway.
Me too.
Hey, what color are you?
I just
You're
got
brown.
my brown
You
belt.
just got it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations, man. Yeah, I'm a purple, and I'm very mediocre. I get stomped all the time. Lies. I've seen you beat people up.
He beat a Asian fellow that was 8'2" and about 300 pounds.
He made me look 5 foot.
Dude, you look so small compared to that guy.
I know. And the weigh-in picture, like I had the slides on and I kicked them off because the last thing I wanted to do was trip on the stage. So I kicked him off, and sure enough, he's got the Reebok platform shoes on. So he looks like it was kind of cool though. Honestly, I kind of liked it because it was I don't know. I thought it made me look badass, right?
Wait, we're gonna go right into this. That wasn't your last fight though. You had another one after that.
I had a grappling match after that, but that was
that your last
fight.
UFC fight?
Yeah.
What the fuck,
October 3rd. I know. I hear you.
Because that was the last minute.
It's funny. I saw when I was looking at your page, I saw that you had Sam Alvey on.
Uh-huh.
They offered me him February 5th. And
he's fighting Philip Halls now.
Yeah, so I accepted, and then a day or two later, they said, "Oh, they're looking at other options." So I don't really know what happened, but then I saw a day. I don't know if it was the day after or the day of my grappling match with Halls. They announced that he got the fight.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I'm just assuming that he said no.
Yeah.
That's Alvey said no. But, I mean, it makes sense.
Well, Alvey told us he wanted somebody who was overweight and had diabetes. Legit. Yeah,
he said he shows up to the weigh-ins.
Hall's not an easy fight.
That's what I responded to him when he posted it. I said, I thought you wanted a fat guy who had diabetes. Because he's 4 straight losses or something,
right.
Alvey.
Yeah. So he took Halls. But, I mean, to me, I guess it makes sense. For one, I had just beaten. I just beat Halls in that grappling match, and I beat him. And he's ranked 20th, and I'm 40. So I guess it makes sense. You fight a higher ranked guy,
Yeah. You got to work your way up there.
Right.
Halls beat Kyle Dawkins too.
Yes.
That was not pretty.
That was not pretty. That That was the fight where Kyle, he had to get like skin grafts on his eye after that. I don't know. Pat was telling me.
Jesus, man.
I don't know if
Why? What happened?
I'm gonna guess like a fingernail or
But that was my thing with that fight.
Or
He
the
was getting
Velcro.
smothered with that. He was
Yeah.
just rubbing him with the fucking gloves the whole night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny. I was in the Ultimate Fighter house and like we had no TVs, but they brought in a TV for us to watch that fight.
Oh, really?
Well, the whole fight, all the fights that night. But
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't his
Yeah.
best moment. But he's about to fight, right?
Mhm.
Dawkins about to fight.
Yeah. Marquez.
Oh, the Cuban Missile Crisis
Julie. Yeah. He's got a podcast.
with the porn girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what she's famous for?
Yeah.
What
I
podcast
mean,
is it? And
No,
what
we're
is the pornography you were
So
speaking
the
of?
rumor is.
He said it, not me.
Hey, I got no shame in my game. I'll watch porn. I don't care. Y'all can pretend all y'all want.
Yeah, no, he has a podcast with but she's really, I forget her name, but she's really into the MMA, the bare knuckle. shit.
Yeah.
So
They're getting a little heat right now.
the
Oh,
podcast.
yeah.
The bare
Yeah.
knuckle.
Oh, why?
So, well, like I want to say, I don't know, maybe 6 months or a year ago, they had a guy die. There was a fight. I think after the fight, he died,
Okay.
basically from head trauma or whatnot. But recently, they tried to match Melvin Gillard up, and he had, I guess he's on like I don't know, maybe a 10-fight losing streak or
I
something.
think they said it's 14. 14
Yeah, so
fight
whatever.
losing.
He's on a long losing streak, and they're trying to match him up with a stud. And
Yeah.
the commissions rarely don't approve fights, but Florida was like, nah, like we can't let this happen.
When Florida says, nah, we can't make that.
That's when you know you're
That's
doing.
not a good idea. But it's also bare knuckle. Like, if you're
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
unless you're Paige Van Zandt,
Yeah,
you're there, or Mike
Yeah.
Perry now.
bro,
You're
Mike
there for
Perry.
the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And look, no one's making you sign that contract. That was my point. No one's making you. And I mean, Melvin Gillard's been in there with some of the best. You know what I mean? So,
I feel bad for guys like that, man. I
Yeah.
really do, because you're a fighter. That's your entire career. And then you age and you're still a fighter, and that's still your
Right.
career. And then all of a sudden it's like you can't do that thing anymore because they're stopping you from doing it. Now, I get it from a medical perspective, but from like a mental health perspective, that's got to be really hard to have as a fighter to go, nah, you can't fight anymore, even though you want to. It's got to be.
I think that I'll speak on my own experience. Is like, I mean, you got to have kind of like the bigger picture in mind at some point. If the bigger picture never crosses your mind, like if you really just think you're just gonna fight like forever, I mean, I don't really feel that bad for you, to be honest. Like, I mean, no one at any point asked you like, what's your plan? Like after it's over, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Melvin Gillard's got a good following. Like he could easily open a gym or do something with his name. I think it's on you to kind of use your platform to make be successful
100%
in whatever
correct.
you want to do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
for sure.
take like all three of us. Let's take a wager or a guess on percentage of business smarts for fighters. Like,
Good point.
are we saying 60-40 or what? I'm gonna go ahead and say that
Yeah, I mean that's a very fair point. Like, look,
20% of fighters have the mental capacity to dominate in
Yeah.
the business world.
most fighters aren't successful. Like they're successful because they're like at the end of the day they're able to just say like screw it, let's go fight. You know what I mean? They're not like overthinking it or they don't really have that mentality of like, well, what if I get hurt or what if this blah blah. They're like, nah, let's go do this. So I mean, yeah, you're right.
That reckless mentality. It's not very good at business all the time.
There you go. Reckless
And I
mentality.
think 20% was very generous.
I wanted to be respectful just in case,
Yeah.
somebody here wanted to be part of the.
No,
of the
he already
equation.
said he's already thinking about big picture stuff. So he's obviously not going to be in that 20%. So
Yeah,
it's good
I
stuff.
mean, look,
Dude, you talk to fighters all the time.
all the time.
Not
yeah.
all of the fighters
No.
you're talking to are the smartest cookies.
Some don't know what they're doing tomorrow, and I mean, part of me's like that too. But yeah, like I'm hosting this tournament.
But see, you're good at business because you brought it up.
Well,
Segue.
so perfect segue. Yeah.
Tell me about this. Tell me about this tournament. Why the hell are you throwing a tournament?
Thank you for asking that. So, so when I came up, I grew up wrestling since I was like 3-4 years old. And, if we wanted to, we could sign up for a tournament. There was a tournament at every school every other weekend. So, like, if we wanted to compete next weekend, we could go to Drexel Hill and pay $20 to compete in a wrestling tournament. And, like today with jiu-jitsu, it's like the complete opposite. Like, if you want to compete in jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu has basically become a sport where, guys go and they train and the goal is like to get a belt. It's not like to compete or to test yourself or to be the best. It's like, I just like love doing this and I just want to, and like, look, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think part of the reason that we have that issue is because it's so hard to compete. Like Naga or Grappling Industries, like these kids, the entry fee is like $150 for Naga. It's like $120 for Grappling Industries. Like, dude, my parents would never give me that money to go compete in a jiu-jitsu tournament. Like, I feel like kids these days would be lucky to be able to do that once or twice a year. You know what I mean? Like, so what? I'm paying $300 and I look at like, and I've done it. Like I've gone to Naga tournaments and, most of the brackets, like some of these brackets you get like, you might get 1 or 2 matches and, you're paying $150 to compete 1 or 2 times. So, so that was kind of my motivation for having this tournament. I'm hosting this tournament at Underground Wrestling Club right down the street. It's in Runnymede. It's awesome, man. We got a beautiful facility, 7 mats, and it's reasonable. It's $70. You come compete, and the goal is not to be the Underground Invitational champ. You know what I mean? The goal is
that sounds cool though.
It is kind of cool, but
the Underground champ of anything is fucking awesome.
It is cool. We got and I have like these rash guards made up for the winners. It'll say like Underground champ, and they'll have like the weight class. Yeah, it's like cool, but the goal is to get matches to like all the stuff that you've been working in practice and your sensei has been teaching you, your instructors. If you never get to apply it in like a real life scenario, like this kind of pointless.
Yeah.
So the goal is to get like as many matches as possible. The one thing that I really made a point of doing is having like I look at like, and I constantly call out Naga, but they're basically robbing people, but they have like 1 million divisions, right? There's
I don't want to call them out, but they're thieves.
they have 1 million divisions, right? So it's like, 10 years old, you've been doing jiu-jitsu for 3 months, you have 0 experience, and this is exactly what you weigh. And there's a weight class every 5 pounds. It's like, dude, come on. You're going to have 3 people in a division. So we're going to do like less divisions and less weight classes just because the goal is to get as many matches as you can. I want kids to leave there and be like, that was awesome. I'm exhausted. Like, I applied, but yeah. So Underground Open, February 19th in Runnymede.
That's the name? Underground Open?
The Underground Open.
That sounds like cool.
Send me some of that information. I'll make sure I advertise it for you and try to get some hype.
Yeah, so the link for the registration is in my bio on Instagram, but I also posted it, but I'll also send it to you.
For sure, because, that kind of stuff is awesome, especially, and, I have a soft spot, when it comes to people who are just starting martial arts. And that shit, sometimes they go to a tournament, they spend all that money, they get 1 match, and if they get stomped out, that might be the last time they ever go and compete again.
Yeah, that can be really discouraging. Yeah.
So now, both of you told me something. Isn't pay to play a negative thing? You know what I mean? Like, to pay to compete, isn't there another way that these, like, are they making money off of the entry fees?
Absolutely. Like, Naga makes a lot of money.
They bank off of that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're making bank.
I mean, I know this, I pay to go run like an asshole on Broad Street or one of these things. So I understand. I'm one of those people.
At least it's going to a good cause though, right?
But that's what I'm saying. So like, what's something positive has to come out of it for it to make sense for you to put that money there.
I like
And is
Tap Out Cancer, man. Tap Out Cancer is a good
right.
one.
That's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Tap
isn't
Out
that what's
Cancer
his
is
name?
great.
Isn't that Giga? Doesn't he do that shit?
Chigazi.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
so. But
Yeah.
they're good people. It's going to a good cause, and they're really friendly. And I have to say, like when I went to the last couple that I went like late, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna, I wasn't competing. I was just there to support. And they were like, yo, you don't have to worry about the entry fee. You can just come in. I always paid anyway, but it was just having people who actually give a damn about the competitors and about the spectators is what the sport really needs. So that way they understand the sport and the camaraderie is above the dollar is so huge, and that's what needs to be done more in the sport.
Are you gonna
Absolutely.
wrestle that day? Like
I
a
mean,
like
I was
a like a what's it
I
called?
would be
Exhibition
I would
match?
be willing to, but I'm imagining that there's going to be more
The fuck
work.
are you
Put
laughing
your
at,
hand
Gabby?
down.
Put my hand down.
Well, are you looking for an opponent?
I thought we could wrestle. We could shoot it. We could film it. It could be an anyway. Sorry,
But
I don't know what the fuck
I
I'm talking
mean,
about.
my goal is not to make money. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But we were very grateful to get a couple sponsors that were willing to pay for like the building for the day and stuff.
Yeah.
Jeremy Sirkin is with Executive Tree Care, and Derek Schaefer is with Valkyrie Capital, and those guys were I'm super grateful to them. They were lucky enough. They were generous enough to donate, and so I mean the goal's not to make money. You know what I mean? It's reasonably priced. The registration fee is reasonable, so that the kids can compete.
Should we do some form of like contest? Is it too late to do like a contest or something?
So
or
I
like
was
a free
actually
entry?
thinking about that. I would definitely be willing to help some kids out for sure. If there was a situation where a kid can't afford, 100%, I would love to.
Because that would be cool.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'll cover 2 entry fees.
Yeah, me too.
I'll cover 2 entry fees. Get the fucking kids in there. Let them compete.
Let's go.
Let them have at it.
Should
Absolutely.
I jump? I feel like I need to jump in. I'll cover 4.
There it is.
Wait, why don't we just compete? Just us. All right, we'll figure all this stuff out after the show. But I think it's important to, obviously the one hero who helps the most is McDojo. He has the biggest following, which I appreciate if you do help out. And Absolutely. This is not an ambush. I was not planning on harassing you to help somebody.
I was.
No. If we can figure something out to make it all kind of have the biggest showing that you can get, that would be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Can I segue in another?
Bro, you take over the show every time anyway. Do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. So whatever happened to the dude that used to like swing on everyone? He was always in the boxing gym. He was like a real skinny white guy.
Oh my God, you're talking about Charlie Zilanoff.
Yes, yeah. And someone did we already discuss?
No, I don't know who the fucking guy is.
Yeah. So, he got dealt with, right? One day.
He got dealt with a couple times. So just in
he
case,
was being like I'm not shitting Planet Fitness and be like, hey, like, we'll just move around or something with like a random guy bench pressing, and they'd be like, all right, like whatever, and they'd just flowing, and he would just start wailing on dudes, like random dudes that had like no idea how to fight.
He would wait until they were putting the gloves on. They would just be midway putting the gloves on, and they don't even have them on yet, and he would just whack.
Fucking bully.
Yeah, and he would record it and everything. Yeah, total bully.
And he calls himself undefeated. He said he's like 200-0 or something ridiculous for just beating up these random people in gyms. But he did it to 2 major people. He did it to Floyd Mayweather Sr., and there's a video out. He goes to the dog pound. He goes to Floyd Mayweather Sr., and they're actually sparring. They're a sparring match.
Yeah,
Floyd Mayweather Sr. turns around and is just walking back to the corner after a round. And he tries this big jump looping right hook to try to hit Floyd Mayweather Sr. when his back is turned. And Junior hops in the ring and beats the shit out of that man for that. That was ridiculous.
I mean, I thought this guy was a complete loser, but the fact that he had the balls to go into the dog pound or whatever the fuck.
Crazy. Yeah, he's crazy.
The guy's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And he did it.
He got in there the one day. The one video I saw, he got in there with this big, but looked like a heavyweight, a young black heavyweight that could fight for sure. And he went at him for a while. Like he was definitely tough. He went after him, but then dude started picking him apart.
Yeah.
Bad. Yeah.
And that there was one where he again the round is over and
Yeah, so then after that, I think it was the same video. So he's like, I'm done. You know what I mean? Like, you got it, blah, blah. And dude's like, nah, I watched all these videos. Like, you're not done. You're going to take a beating. And he was trying to get out, and then the fight goes out into the gym, out of the ring. Yeah.
He winds up choking him. Like, and throwing him into the weights because he tried to steal him a couple times when he wasn't looking.
Yeah.
He beats.
I know what you guys are doing at 10 o'clock at night. Just random YouTube videos of fucking this guy.
Charlie Z. Just go look up Charlie Zelenoff, and you will not be bored. He is a douche.
Yeah, he's a douche. That's hilarious. So what's next, brother? What's I know the Alvy thing didn't pan out. What's your goal?
March.
March?
Yeah. Yeah. As
What
long
card
as
is
it's
that?
after this tournament, I'm good to go. I don't know, man. I saw they moved that April. I think it was April 4th or April 8th. It was supposed to be at Barclays. That would have been awesome. But I just saw that they moved that. I think it's going to be in Florida.
Okay.
But
you know who's headlining that card? The May card?
They announced it. They did announce it. I forget who it is now. Can we look that up?
Gabby can look it up.
April.
Gabby always puts the website with the smallest text possible, so I can't read it. I wear glasses too, brother, but I don't wear them because then the reflection of my glasses looks even worse. So
it's rough. It's rough, man. Like I have to dim my screen. If not, it shines off of it. And what's funny is I wear contacts, but people always recognize me with the glasses and the ugly in the hat. So I can't fix any of that. So I figured I'd just keep it up.
Isn't that funny? Like speaking of Halloween costumes that we have to wear. When I got here, I forgot my fucking hat at home, and I'm like, I always wear a hat. Now I got to figure out. I got to go put some water in my hair. What the fuck am I doing today?
It feels weird, right? It's like that's your thing.
I wear hats all fucking day, every day, and every day on the show. I think only once did I not wear a hat.
I don't think I've ever seen you wear a hat.
No,
no.
You don't pay attention to me, bro. You don't look at me. You don't respect me.
Like I swear, there's a hat.
Just look back at every other time we've been around each other. I've been wearing a hat.
Not when you work out.
I thought I did. No,
I don't think so.
Because you were fucking hitting me in the head. It was probably falling off.
So what's up, dude? You don't want to work out anymore?
You're too busy.
You did?
Of course I do. Let's go.
Wow.
Tell these people how good I hit.
This guy got big, got Hollywood and left me. Dropped his trainer, said, I don't need one.
I thought when you said got big, I thought you were being mean.
I thought you were talking about sandwiches big. I
don't know. I thought he was insulting me. I agree. No, we got to do it. We got to do it.
Yeah. Right. What's up with, have you talked to Bobby?
I did one thing with him.
That's cool that he's down there.
I went to John's.
Yeah.
And he had me kick a lot.
And
you know how many times I've kicked before that day?
Zero.
So I did much better by the end. I think I had the power.
Yeah.
I had no technique.
Right.
And then I saw some videos that I took of myself to judge myself really harshly. Then bad. I deleted them.
No, you didn't.
It was terrible.
You wanted them off the phone.
Yeah.
Like I can't even stand.
I felt I looked old. Even the punches, like
you put them in your calculator app.
What?
The hidden photo gallery. Wait, you don't have a hidden photo gallery?
No, what? A hidden photo gallery.
Yeah.
No, you always teach me some shady shit every time you come on. No, I don't have a hidden photo library. I just delete shit. Why would I hide shit?
Can we pause for a second?
I have so many questions. Wait,
you don't have a hidden photo vault?
I don't, but now I just got to know, what do you keep in your hidden photo vault?
You put yourself here, and you're gonna explain yourself.
Oh boy, I didn't.
We're waiting. We're waiting.
Oh.
Just like anything you don't want anyone else to see.
No, I know what hidden means. I know the point of it. All right. Well, I think there's better uses for the hidden folder than my own slow hitting videos. But if that's where you want me to put it.
Fair enough.
All right. So you're going to get me into shape and you're going to teach me all your... Bobby called you out and said that your striking wasn't... I shouldn't be working with you on striking.
He's probably right.
he said, but he's a wrestler, and I'm like, oh yeah, but he's also a UFC fighter.
Yeah, but so's Bobby.
And Bobby's like, no, you should be working with me. I'm like, all right, dude. There's beef there.
Wow.
There's beef there.
And it's funny because what did I say about Bobby?
You said he was fantastic,
I
and
say
that he
he's
would be good.
fantastic, and you should work with him.
I know,
Yeah.
but Bobby came in here kind of hot that day and kind of insulted all of us about our eating habits and all sorts of shit. He said,
"Whoa,
Acme,
bro,
he said, Acme
calm down,
shop
you
right,
little 25-pounder."
He said, Bobby,
Dude takes one trip to Miami, and he knows it all.
Is that what it is? He took a trip to Miami, and now
That's
he
where
thinks
he
he's
is
Pitbull.
now.
Is that where he's at?
I love this, by the way.
Thanks, brother.
Sorry, why did you yell at me for putting that?
I was going to say that was so disrespectful to all the
So
Americans who have fallen.
disrespectful.
We have a flag on the chest here.
Sorry.
And this guy's putting his nice sneakers on.
Terrible. Yeah. So we have a teammate, Ferdas. I'm going to say it wrong. He's from Russia, but he trains with us, and he's down at Khabib's first event is this weekend.
Eagle FC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Actually, I say good for him. Good for him.
You know what I'm excited about? The professional pillow fighting.
Can we get to that next?
I'd love to do it. I'm down.
Let's do Eagle FC first, and then we'll get to pillow fighting.
Eagle FC. So our guy is going down. He's fighting Sean Bunch down there. I think it's Friday night, but that's pretty cool. So John and Christian and Bobby went down with him.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Who's the headliner? Who's headlining?
Tyrone Spong and a Russian striker.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. God damn it. I'm so bad with names.
Yeah.
Why would Khabib do his first event with not a huge name on a huge main event?
Like, who would you have had?
It's a good question. I don't know. Somebody who's like
I would have tried to have gotten. I would have tried to steal away John Jones since he hasn't fought in forever. And then
he's under contract. He can't get out.
Oh yeah, but I mean,
no way. So he's got Tyrone Spong. He's got there's 3 big names on that. The 3 see if you can look that up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look it up, man, because now I'm curious. Because I say good for him for being able to move from being an undefeated UFC fighter and then going into being a promoter.
Sure. I respect that.
But hold on. So is this is in America? Why?
That's a good question.
Because the majority of the eyeballs he's barely promoting that shit here, which means he's gonna have massive numbers from where he's from Russia.
Yeah.
So then why would he do it in
That's a good question, honestly.
And it's Florida. So
there you go.
Oh, Rashad Evans. Rashad
Evans is fighting a killer.
Rashad Evans is fighting?
Rashad Evans is fighting a killer.
Oh. But Rashad Evans is past his prime, bro.
100%, but he's a big name.
No, I know, but is this going to be like Bellator? Or are we trying to compete with the UFC here? Because Bellator is the one who puts on...
Right. And then go up. Tex-Mex. He was a 25-pounder. Ray Borg. Is that Ray Borg, right? I think he's...
Ray Borg, yes. There was...
Is that it right there? No.
I think I heard Ray Borg going over there. No, that's not Ray Borg.
Not them.
But who's Tex-Mex?
That's his fight name, right?
Ray Borg?
Or his Instagram. God damn it.
They're all in... It's not in English, so I'm...
Yeah.
Wait, the whole website's not... The whole Instagram's not in English?
What about their story? Can you go to their story?
I mean, the majority of the people who were on the prelims, I cannot pronounce their names. So, there's a lot of that.
Keep going.
Gabby, do you mind putting this on so people can see what we're looking at?
If you've never watched Tyrone Spong fight, that dude's incredible.
There's Rashad.
Evans. That's the dude, Karatonov. He's the one fighting Rashad.
Let's talk about Rashad's hair. What do we think? We dislike?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay.
One more.
I haven't seen his hair.
That's our teammate, Ferdas.
What's his record?
Good. It's good.
Nailed it.
Keep going.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine that, for this particular card that he's got some pretty good guys, but of course I don't recognize anyone from the prelims, so
keep going. Oh, dude, go back. That guy in the middle.
Who the fuck's that guy?
That's the guy from the Ultimate Fighter that pulled out.
When you were,
Yeah.
What happened? Why did he pull out?
He hurt his knee. Colin or
I don't remember.
God damn it.
So what we don't know anything.
Names.
Idaho. He was on my team. Wow, I'm shot.
This is terrible. Let me guess, you like them a lot too?
I've lost way too many brain cells. Keep going.
So it's,
There you go at the bottom, Sean Bonch. Keep going. I don't wonder why Ray Borg's picture is not up there. Maybe his fight got dropped or something.
maybe he's fighting in the pillow thing.
Maybe I totally made this up.
I swear.
Is it ever a good look to wear jeans on a
No, sir.
weigh-in photo?
No, sir.
No, he's Ray Borg is supposed to be fighting Cody Gibson, and he's fighting right before Rashad Evans is.
Oh, but he's not in there.
So he's on. He is
Yeah, he
on
is
this card.
It says he's on the main card. It says he's the fight before Rashad, and the Rashad's a co-main event.
I feel like Ray Borg would be one of the biggest names. Right? Am I wrong? He's a big
I mean,
name.
out of those names, yeah, for sure. Do we think this is going to be the production value and quality of the UFC, or is this going to feel like a regional fight?
I think that they are coming in at the perfect time because every article, it seems right now, is about how the UFC is not paying their fighters well.
And they are?
I don't know. I can't say with certainty, but I would imagine they are.
What do you think about the UFC pay?
Obviously, it could be better. Obviously, it could be better.
What do you think about your employer's pay?
Yeah, I think that it is like a matter of like what you're doing. Like to me, it seems like the guys that are complaining about how much they get paid, like fight like twice a year and like don't do anything else. Like, I don't really understand that. I don't understand what do you do? Like, what do you do? Half of them don't have kids, they don't have a job, and they fight twice a year.
Yeah.
And like, how long's your training camp for these two fights? You do like at most 10 weeks.
Yeah.
What are you doing the other 30 weeks out of the year?
Yeah.
I don't get it. You know what I mean?
I'll say this with the fighter pay shit with the UFC. It's like everything, right? So it's a very stupid comparison, but let's say you're a fucking barber. A barber can make no money and can be just a fucking barber.
Yeah.
Or a barber who figures it out can be at the fucking highest level and make a ton of money, have a brand, have a business, have a following, and be, on demand at all times. It's what you put into it.
100%. One thing I do know is the way, look, there's the minimum UFC contract and then there's the Conor McGregor money, right? And the only thing that I do know is the way to get the Conor McGregor money is not by complaining about not being paid enough. Like, what are you doing wrong? You know what I mean? Like,
but before Conor had I think people forget because of how polarizing he is. Before Conor was Conor, as far as his image, Conor was performing very high level and fighting, often, right? He wasn't cherry picking,
right,
and complaining along the way when he first started.
He got some favorable matchups for sure, but
but that's because he had already the traction, so they were trying to become.
So for me, like I try to learn as much as I can from Conor. Like, I don't care. Like, for me, like, I don't look at a fighter and be like, oh, I like him or I hate him. No, it's like, what can I learn from him? For Conor, it's like, the one thing I noticed is that, like, it seems to me like his mentality was like, look, if I'm going to lose, I'm going to make sure it's on a big stage and my stock is still going to grow.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's going to be for a title fight or it's going to be big, like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't lose and don't fight a tough dude on a meaningless and make it meaningless. You know what I mean?
And also when you lose in a way where you create the controversy to lead to the next thing.
Yeah. Or a rematch.
Don't fade and just, take the loss and walk away.
I mean, dude, the guy is like 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Am I close with that?
I think so. I mean, he hasn't been on a winning streak. That's the damn sure.
The only one, like Nate Diaz, Conor, they're all like 1-4, 1-5. Like, they lose every time they fight.
Yeah.
And yet they make 100 times more than the guys that are winning. Like,
yeah.
Well, you really said something that was important, I think, for other fighters, especially up and coming fighters, to hear earlier, which is what's the big picture after fighting. And I think that fighters need to understand that getting paid isn't just because you're winning. You're getting paid more because of your personality, the effort you're putting
You've
in.
heard it. You're right, 100%. You've heard it a million times. It's sports entertainment.
For sure.
You know what I mean? How many people at the end of the day want to watch you fight? Like, that's really the only thing that matters.
I look at Clay Guida. Like, every time I saw Clay Guida fight, he was losing from what I saw. But, like, people love the dude, you know? Like, even Cowboy.
He's a little too sweaty and hairy for my liking, but go ahead.
That's fair. But
I just always imagine him on top of me. Like, ugh. Anyway.
It's funny you say that because he just his last fight that he won was huge. He was like a plus $1 million underdog, and he beat that a 13-time jiu-jitsu world champ. So he actually has been winning fights. But yes, you are right. And I will say, like, I did that Fury card with him, and like I liked him, but I wasn't like a huge fan. But after that show, I was like, yeah, I'm a huge fan of him. Like, his energy, like, he's like that all the time, like fired up, like, let's go, blah blah blah. And man, guys came from. He sold the. I think me and Sean sold the most tickets, but right above me and Sean. All right, so I said that. Clay Guida sold the most tickets, and they all came from like South Dakota and where's he from? Iowa, South Dakota. He said that's what Rob said. A bunch of them came from South Dakota to support him. So like they want to watch him fight, like whether it's grappling or fighting. You know, that's what matters. That's why he's still in the UFC.
And I think that's why people are missing the point with like the Paul brothers. Like, they're missing the point. Yeah. Like, they marketed themselves, which is why people want to see it. They could literally do anything and people would watch it now because they marketed themselves, you know?
So my experience with brand and marketing is a lot more than fighting.
Yeah.
So I can speak to that a little bit more intelligently. You're a brand.
Yeah.
So he has a very clear, Clay Guida has a very clear brand.
Yeah.
When you see Clay Guida, it could be a fucking drawing of Clay Guida. You know what I mean? That know his vibe. That's why he doesn't cut his motherfucking hair. You know what I mean? His brand is his brand. Like, that's his look.
Yeah.
And that's the energy, like you said. So it's like, that's what people expect. That's what people pay to see.
Yeah,
if he showed one day and didn't show that energy, and then another day he did, that's that inconsistent brand isn't what's going to get you So you got to figure out who you are as a fighter, who you are as a performer, and stick to that and go fucking hard.
Hell yeah.
Because people got to hate you or love you, right?
Yeah.
Sean O'Malley.
What's your brand?
My brand?
Yeah.
Getting too old for this shit.
No.
That was my brand identity.
Like a retired cop.
You are the host of Cageside podcast, the Cageside show. Like, what's
the brand of the Cageside show?
What is you?
I don't know, man, because I got into this not as a brand. I got into this to make this show happen. I work behind the scenes. I put myself in front of the camera to make it happen.
What a scapegoat answer.
Why don't you tell me what my brand is?
I don't know. I can't tell. I can't say that for you.
You didn't even know that I didn't wear hats or wore hats.
I've never seen you. Are you wearing a hat right now?
I don't know where this conversation is going.
All right. So your brand is you're a hat guy. You love America.
I love America. I'm Puerto Rican.
Love America.
I'm Puerto Rican.
You're a Puerto Rican.
Father of two.
You were born here?
I was born in Puerto Rico.
You were born in Puerto Rico. You came to America. You love America and you love hats.
But what about American hats?
Even better. Can you put that in my bio?
Yep.
Can you alter the bio?
Can you put that on his Christmas
American hats?
What is it? I'm Puerto Rican and I like hats. That's hilarious.
Is that Overeem?
Yeah.
Who did that?
I did.
You drew that? You painted that?
Mm-hmm. And my favorite is actually the cowboy. For the shits and giggles with the kids, I was watercoloring. I told the story a million times. And while they were doing their thing, I was like, all right, I'm going to paint like the fucked up faces of the UFC.
Yeah.
Like, after big losses. And I started with Cowboy Cerrone and when he blew out his eye, when he blew his nose.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one.
Okay.
I think it should become an NFT.
Oh, that's so funny you say that. So the one of Frankie Edgar when he's getting front kicked.
Yeah. He looks like a fucking Simpson.
You should make that into an NFT.
I'm going to make that next.
Paint it and then post it and say NFT ?
I just feel so silly pretending like I'm gonna sell an NFT when I'm trying so hard to sell the fucking show first. One thing at a time.
Well, if you had a brand, maybe.
Boom.
If you knew what you were selling, I guess.
I have an identity crisis, and I'm sticking to that as my brand. That's hilarious.
What would you say your market is?
My audience?
Yeah, your audience. Okay.
Well, I like to think that it's, I mean, rooting from the Philly, the Philly grit, kind of blue collar, fan of the sport.
Yeah.
I would like to think that that's who we're kind of targeting, but I don't know if that's the case. I don't know. If
What
that's
do you
the case.
think it is?
I don't know. It might be a bunch of Russian bots.
Fair enough.
Brother, if I could figure out everything that you're asking me right now, we would be in better shape as a show.
All right.
You'd be
Just
making
ask-
that
Someone's got to ask these questions.
You're right. Those are
On that note, like and subscribe.
Yes. So like and subscribe and let us know what you think our brand is.
There we go.
Have I created a
really good trick? Just a trick that you can do, and it works like gangbusters, son. Is at the not at the very end of your shows, but like somewhere around like that 75% done mark. Put in a question for people to answer in the comment section, so they watched the whole show, and you'd be amazed how quick your numbers go up.
So like if we ask a question right now and then we tell them to tune in and answer the question, you're saying?
No, you can say, so, all right, guys, if you've been watching up to this point, let me know who your favorite MMA fighter is of all time in the comment section below. And so what happens is people will watch just to be able to get to that question. And so people will start to expect it. So you'll get more viewership for longer.
Okay. Ready? So
we're at that segment of our show where we ask our weekly question.
Yes.
Our weekly question is, oh, you want me? You give me the honors? Yes. What is our weekly question? All right.
You were so confident.
All right. I got a good one.
I thought he had at least 3.
Okay. Favorite movie of all time?
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
And you go first.
Of all time, that's
of all
hard.
Time. One movie.
I'm gonna say Interstellar.
I haven't seen that. Oh, wait. Is that the movie with Matthew McConaughey?
Have you seen Interstellar? Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
You don't like it? It's a great movie. What the fuck are you gonna say? Dumb and Dumber?
My favorite movie of all time?
Yeah.
You're not gonna believe me, but it's a tie between Titanic and Lion King.
You're making fun of me, bro.
Those are classics.
Lion King, bro.
Lion King is a classic. Are you serious?
Okay.
Simba.
No, I know. Lion King.
God damn it.
Brother, it's your turn. You're not getting away with not answering this question.
Oh,
What's your favorite movie of all time?
Oh, man, that's hard. This is going to sound really stupid, but I love Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. It is the most corny, like, martial arts movie of all time, but whenever it's on, I can watch it anytime.
That could be worse.
Can I be honest? I feel like I started at the top and it just went downhill from there. The thing is, you can't do that of all time question. You know what I mean? Like of the last 5 years, 10 years. All right, I'm good with Interstellar. I don't know, all time
of your life, I guess.
I'm pretty sure like none of the movies we picked were Oscar winners. You know what I'm saying? Well, actually, it's Titanic. Titanic, I'm pretty sure did. Did Lion King?
Titanic was pretty good.
Bro.
I did watch that several times. Are you gonna sing Celine Dion right now? So you like Titanic?
Yeah.
What's his face? What was he just in? God damn it, he was fantastic. Oh, did you see the Kevin Hart show on Netflix? The
when they're in the
it's him and his brother. What?
When they're when he interviews guys in the cold tubs?
No, that's awesome. But that's Cold as Balls. That's on YouTube.
What's his show?
No, he has a show on Netflix that's like a series show where he's a comedian and his brother is Wesley Snipes and his brother. You don't know anything about this? Truth be told,
I didn't know his brother was Wesley Snipes
in the show.
It plays his brother, yeah.
No,
anyway,
I didn't see it. Yeah, is it good?
Okay, it's good. Yeah. But the guy who's bad in that one, he's like bald head, white beard, kind of thick looking, and I'm like, the fuck's this guy? And it took me a second, and it's the guy from Titanic,
The bad guy?
boyfriend,
The bad guy?
the boyfriend of the girl.
Oh, fuck him.
Yeah.
I'm
What's his
I
name?
don't like him.
I know. He's not likable either on this show, but he's a cool looking character. Anyway,
True.
I was just like, oh shit, where'd he come from? Anyway, so that's the question. So then I got to ask people where in the comments.
Well, yeah, you just tell them to respond to comments, and what happens is you won't get it immediately, right? But what'll happen is as people who start to watch the show, they'll start leaving comments and they'll keep answering, and people who are reading the comment section will go, "What the fuck are they talking about?" And then people will start watching farther to hear what's going on, especially if
we will repost the best answer.
Ooh. Will you
Or
repost
the
it?
worst
Will
answer.
you repost it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, how are we going to repost the answer?
We'll screenshot it.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, I like where your head's at. See, this is where the wheels are turning. This is how you make that money.
We're not even recording, right? This is just a mentorship.
Right?
All right. Why don't we wrap this up with we're gonna do this. Give me one tip for brand and one tip for up and coming fighters. You guys are answering this, not me. Go. What's one tip? What one thing? If you had one tip you could give somebody who meets you on the street, and they say, "Hey, I want to be a fighter. Give me a tip."
Do you want me to take? You want to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm curious.
My advice to up and coming fighters, especially when they're amateurs, is just compete every weekend. Like the whole idea that you need like a 6 or an 8 week training camp, like, dude, save that shit for when you're pro. Like, just do something every weekend and do everything. Don't say no to any opportunities. Your record literally means nothing. Like, if you lose a fight or you lose a jiu-jitsu match, do boxing, like whatever you can, do as much and get as much experience as possible. That's like the whole goal of an amateur career, is to get as much experience as possible. I think guys now are too worried about taking every fight like it means something. Like, I hate to tell it to you, but your amateur career means nothing. It doesn't mean anything.
That's where boxing is a little better, where they have 300 fights.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then one tip for brand. How do you brand yourself?
I think that I don't know. I just want to be different. I don't want to be like, I guess that's more than just a brand, but like, I just want to be different from everyone else, to be honest. Like, I think that I do bring like a different like aspect to the fight game. I think like at the end of the day, like I always think about Pat too, but like just like meatheads that fucking love lifting weights and like love fighting.
Yeah.
And like, if that's pretty fucking American to me.
That's my brand.
It's pretty fucking American.
That's my brand. So. You nailed my brand. I was actually waiting for you to nail my brand. There you go. Listen, I think you set yourself up for already a brand. I think your next big fight, you walk out to the Titanic song.
Yeah. Honestly, I had already thought about that.
And then maybe like you hold somebody like Baby Simba then if you win. I don't know. Something like we gotta put in the Lion King reference somehow.
It's
or you come out to
Can you do that one more time?
No. All right, sir.
As a fighter, I would say not brand, but I would say market yourself outside of the ring. You know, like you made a very good point that there is a bigger picture. You're not always going to be a fighter. And if you look at certain fighters, like even Sage Northcutt, like he didn't do great, but he still branded himself so well that he's still making bank, even though he's not even fighting really anymore. So, I mean, if he is, it's on a much different promotion. But when it comes down to it, it's marketing yourself so that way people like you. It's kind of important because people hate you. That's one way of doing it, but that only works if you're still winning. Like once you start losing and you're still the heel, no one gives a shit. They're like, yeah, I still hate you and you're a loser. So, but if people like you, they'll continue to follow you and they'll continue to like you. Like Stephen Thompson's another great example of somebody who marketed himself well outside of the ring. He's got a show. People like him. He's considered like the not NMF, the nicest motherfucker. So when it comes down to it, just make sure that you have something outside of the ring to look forward to and to market yourself so people want to watch you, even if you're not fighting. Angie Hill's another good example of somebody, like, whenever she's done fighting, she's already kind of set herself up to be a commentator and to do other things outside of the ring. When it comes to marketing, I would say be consistent, but be you. Because everybody, like you said, you're trying to be unique, right? There is no other you. You don't need to build a character. Be you. There is no other you. And so if you do that and market that and really push yourself to be the most unique person you can be, which is just you, you'll do well. Roxanne Modafferi is probably a great example of that. Super nerdy, embraces it. That's just who she is. Izzy does the same thing.
He really
I've won a lot
it.
of money on her, betting on her.
Yeah.
And so just be you. If you're you, be you. Be consistently you. Try not to be somebody you're not. And then if you are, you'll do all right.
I love that. Those are wise words, sir. I appreciate that. I think we've come to a lot of conclusions in this show. I think we've helped tons of people.
I agree with everything you said.
You were on your phone, bro. You were on your phone.
It was interesting that you said, like, the whole thing about, like, being the heel, and it only works if you're winning.
Mayweather.
And I was trying to think of, like, examples of guys that are losing that are, like, the heel. But to add to that is, like, you can be the bad guy and still be liked. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a unique thing because McGregor does that. He's the bad guy, but he's kind of liked. It's an interesting thing.
Yeah, for sure. Chael Sonnen was kind of like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he
get more liked after he was done.
I think so.
Who else is makes a good bad guy? No, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Like you said, like Covington, the nice. Yeah. If there's one thing I had to disagree with, it's like the nice guy for Wonder Boy. Dude, that's been played out. If that's your goal, like, is to be the nice guy, like, good luck.
Well,
the nice guy, every other dude in the UFC is trying to be the nice guy.
Well, the reason I was bringing him up is because that is just who he is. I mean, that's not
you're right. Yeah.
No.
It'd be cool to see him get a little mean, though.
That would be cool. His dad did the same shit.
If he got a little mean, you know what I mean? I think that would cause a nice, like, if he started flipping people off after he hit him.
If there was like traffic footage of him, like, getting a little bit of road rage, him getting out of the car and being like, "What's good?"
A Wonder Boy bit. Yeah, that whole family seems too nice.
They just are that nice, though. It is what it is. It's weird, but it's true.
It's weird.
It's so fucking weird. I trust the mean guy.
How could you be that nice?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're awesome people, but at the same time, it's like they literally are the nicest people I've met.
Oh, Lord. Dude, where's my shirt? Don't you have the rocket ship shirts?
Yeah.
I want the shirt.
Oh, you didn't tell me.
I tagged you, bro. I said I liked it.
You tagged me?
I think so. I don't know. I think so.
You never tagged me.
I don't know. I probably didn't. But still. So
sounds good, though.
I don't know if you saw his fight where he, at the end, talked about Jeff Bezos.
It was the greatest post-fight
might be the
best.
Might be. It might be.
How do you talk about his brand without bringing that up?
That is your brand.
I thought we were going to skip that, to be honest. I was trying to forget about that.
I didn't mean to bring it up. But you're having shirts made, so it works.
True.
It's your face and Jeff Bezos' face, and it's kind of sweet. I love it.
It is a face that resembles Jeff Bezos' face.
That is true. He's
trademarked. It's a different Bezos.
It's a different. It's
Jeff Bezos. He's Mexican.
It's like Ricky Mouse. It's not Mickey Mouse. It's Ricky Mouse.
Puerto Rican Bezos. Yes.
Oh shit! I love it. All right, fellas. Do we have any fights this weekend that we can quickly say who we are going for, or no?
Do you want to wrap up? Talk about feelings about the
feelings. Hell no.
I've been having a lot of anxiety recently, and I don't like being bullied.
I was gonna suggest like the Ngannou Rano.
You know what? Yeah, let's not talk about the next fights. Let's just talk about Ngannou real quick. What did you guys think of that performance? Did you appreciate his ground game?
I think that he showed attributes of a champion, as whether it was exciting or not. I kind of watched the fight, honestly, from a different lens. But yeah, that's my interpretation.
You sounded so fancy when you said that.
Well, you know,
You're sharing your feelings, talking about lenses.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen, like, I understand that fans tune in and they want to watch guys stand in front of each other and like beat the shit out of each other, and like that's cool. Like I've seen that like a million times. Like if I really want to see that, like I can go on YouTube and watch,
Yeah.
Arturo Gotti, Mickey Ward.
Good stuff.
You know what I mean? But so I kind of look for different things, but I liked watching Francis show like a new aspect of his game, and yeah,
He also had everything ripped in his knee, apparently.
Yeah,
which is a big reason for maybe his. Well, he's not a big mover anyway, but I don't know. I'm sure it played a role.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. When he came out with the double knee pads, I was like, "That's weird."
But he was just going to be like a really cool WWE wrestler.
I was like, "That is not aesthetically appealing."
Can that be part of your brand? Knee pads?
No, I can't do that.
Okay. What do you think about it?
No, I thought it was a smart game. Like you noticed that he didn't pull the trigger on that until the third round, and then he was consistent with it round 3, 4, and 5, which pretty much gave him the victory because he won those rounds hands down because of that. And it kind of reminded me, like if you've ever been in the gym and you're sparring with a dude, and it's like one of those moments where it's like, all right, we're just gonna tap, and then out of nowhere the dude like just blasts you, and then you're on your heels from then on out, going, what the fuck? I thought we were just tapping around, man. What the? And so it kind of reminded me of that where he wasn't expecting to get double legged, and then all of a sudden he gets taken to the ground. He's like, "Damn, how do I stop this?" And like almost like he didn't expect it to happen again and again and again. It was almost like after that he was on his heels, trying to defend a takedown that he knew was eventually coming, but he just couldn't stop it because it surprised him so much in the third.
I thought it was a shame because I wasn't huge on Gon anyway, and sometimes you see people lose and their stock rises regardless, and then you like them that much more for it, and that I don't think, you know what I mean, like that didn't happen in that fight.
I mean, he's a talented dude, and like if you look at his stats, man, I think he's like 3-3-4, something like that. So he had like 3 knockouts, 3 submissions, and like 4 decisions or something like that. So he's so evenly spread out. It's not like he's all knockouts or all submissions.
Around the fighter,
yeah. So I don't see why he wouldn't eventually get the title if he continues, because he's still kind of young in the game. I mean, what, 14?
I really am convinced John Jones doesn't beat either of them. I really do.
Doesn't?
No. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Gon has the skills to do
what? What's he going to do?
Well, first of all, John Jones doesn't look great in his last like 3 fights.
How does Francis beat John Jones?
By knocking his ass out.
So what you're saying is John Jones has never fought a power puncher. John Jones doesn't know how to stay out of range.
No, he can stay out of range.
He doesn't know how to use his range to stay out of power.
He does.
Out of danger?
He does. He can stay out of range. But do you? I don't know. How do you? I don't know. I really don't know. I just don't see it as everybody's like, oh my god, John Jones can just whoop anybody in that division.
Yeah,
I don't see that.
I think John Jones is going to be in the headlines. He's going to get in trouble again.
Of course he is.
It's fucking stupid. There's going to be something.
John Jones runs into bus full of naked prostitutes while snorting cocaine off a nun's ass.
Did you say falls into bus? Is that what you said? Dominic Reyes put a nice little beating on him. I thought Dominic Reyes won that.
Yeah.
Fight. I don't see why Gon wouldn't do that, but just a bigger version.
I think that Gon would have a better. I would be more willing to bet on Gon than Francis against John.
For a big guy, Gon moves really light. He's like
Yeah.
We also haven't seen John Jones fight at that weight.
True.
He could look like shit, or he could look fucking scary. But we're never going to see it because he's going to run into a bus full of prostitutes. Listen, let's wrap this guy up. I don't even know what time it is, but it's going long. Give us the details on the tournament again.
So February 19th, the link for the registration is in my Instagram bio, but the registration's on Flow. February 19th in Runnymede. It's a no-gi only tournament. It's $70 to register. And I'm going to guarantee you guys get bunch of matches.
And you and I are going to wrestle as the main event.
And there's going to be a sideshow main event. And
why has it got to be a sideshow, bro? All right. I'm a blue belt and quit. Is that what I'm going to be? All right. Please subscribe, watch, like McDojoLife. You're the man.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And then we have a documentary we filmed last year, and we're working on distribution now. So this year you will see our documentary about fakes, frauds, phonies, con men, and pedophiles in the martial arts industry. So you'll see my floating head on some subscription, whether it be Netflix or HBO Max or something.
Fantastic, dude. Congratulations on that. Make sure you check it out. Obviously, you'll let us know when it's out there.
Sure.
All right, guys. That's it. Wrap it up, Gabby.